Today we are sewing the Avery hoodie. To go through the pieces, first of all, we have the hood, and this will be labeled number 12. Our next pieces will be the sleeves, and this is labeled number 6. The front pocket is labeled number 11. We have 2 cuff pieces labeled number 7. 2 waistband pieces, these are labeled number 5. This is our front piece, it's labeled number 1. You can tell it's the front because it has a deeper neckline, and it also has the 2 notches to line up with the hood. And the back panel labeled number 2 with the shallower neckline. In your kit, you'll also find your elastic waistband attached a safety pin. Taking our piece labeled number 11, our front pocket, we're basically just gonna fold in the sides here that have those notches taken out, and you'll align those with the side seams. And what we're gonna do is about 1/8 from the edge, you're gonna stitch it down, and then once that's done, you'll flip it over and stitch a 1/4 inch away from that line. Repeat this on both sides. So as you can see, I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, and I'm gonna sew all along there. And once that's all finished, I clip my threads, flip it over, and I'm gonna complete the next line. So I'm going about a 1/4 inch away towards the outside and stitching my second line. Once complete, this is what it'll look like. Once both sides of the pocket are complete, we're gonna attach it to the hoodie itself. So you can see the line here, and it has a straight line up the middle. So with our pocket sticker side up, so right sides together, we're gonna line up that notch with the vertical line on the hoodie and sew across 3/8. This is what it'll look like, and you can now fold the pocket down. Our next step is to take the sides of the pocket and fold them in. There will be a notch to align with, and then basically we're just gonna sew down about 1/8 from the edge of that. And repeat to the other side. Once complete, this is what it'll look like. Okay, now that our front is complete, we can set that to the side, and we're gonna grab our back piece. This is labeled number 2. Take your back and lay it sticker side down so it is right side facing up. Locate and identify the shoulders, they're right here. And then take your front piece and lay it right side down so the right sides are together and that front piece sticker is facing up toward you. We're gonna line up the shoulders, and we're gonna stitch across at 3/8 or serge. You'll see that I am serging throughout this video, but if you don't have a serger, anytime I'm serging, stitch at 3/8. Now that the shoulders are complete, we'll take our sleeves. These are labeled number 6, and we are gonna put these right side down. So that rounded part of the sleeve, we're gonna face towards that curve of the armhole. You'll see there's notches to line up, so 1 indicating the front and 2 indicating the back. These will match on the sleeve, and then 1 indicating the shoulder point. If it's easier for you, you can pin the sleeves at the notch points and then sew all the way around, but you'll see I'm just gonna take my time, make sure those notches are lining up like I'm doing right here, and kind of pull as I sew so those notches match up. Make sure to repeat this process on both sleeves so that both are attached. Once both of the sleeves are attached, I'm going to lay my hoodie right sides together because we are going to close it right up now. So I'm lining up the hem with the hem and the 2 armhole seams together, and then where they meet at the wrist, and I'm sewing all the way through basically a straight line. And we'll do this on both sides. As you approach the armhole seams, just making sure they line up before you move through. Now that that is all attached, you'll see we have our arm on and the side seam closed. We will now set this to the side, and we're gonna work on our cuffs and our hem. Now grab the cuff pieces. These are labeled number 7. What we're gonna do with each of the pieces is lay them sticker side down so that we can fold them right sides together along that triangle type cutout, and we will sew along that, or serge. Repeat this process on both cuffs. Once sewn, this is what they should look like. So our next step what we're gonna do is actually fold them wrong sides together so the right side is facing out. And you just wanna make sure all those raw edges are lining up. And we'll do this to both cuffs. And this is what they should look like once they're both folded out. So now what we're gonna do is take those cuffs and attach them to our sleeve. So we're gonna flip our hoodie right side out and then take one of your cuffs, it doesn't matter which side, and we're gonna line up those raw edges with the raw edges of the sleeve. So put it on with the folded edge toward the hoodie. We'll line up all of those seams and straighten that out, and then once that's on, we're gonna sew it together all the way around. Make sure to repeat this, attaching both cuffs to both sleeves. And as you can see, I'm slowly working my way around, making sure to line up those raw edges. If it gets a little bunchy in there, you can give it a slight pull wherever you may need to. Once attached, this is what it should look like with the cuff seam lining up with the arm seam. Now that both cuffs are on, we will move to the waistband. So now taking both waistband pieces, this is similar to the cuff. We are gonna lay them right sides together, so sticker side facing the table and facing you, and we're gonna sew together along the short edges here. Once that is complete, basically what we're gonna do is take off both stickers on both sides and then fold so it is wrong sides together, just like we did with the cuffs. So I'm folding both seams together on this side, repeating on the other side, and it will basically create this folded over hoop shape. What we're gonna do with this hoop is take our hoodie, and this will be right side out, and we're gonna line up the raw edge with the raw edge. So taking it over, folded side toward the hoodie, and line up the side seam of the waistband with the side seam of the hoodie body. Feel free to pin if you need to, but basically we're just gonna work all the way around the hoodie and slowly serge or sew together. And what we wanna do is when we get to the end, leave about a 5-inch gap. This is where we will insert our elastic. So as you can see, I'm just serging along, making sure to line up all of those layers, raw edges, and slowly moving through. Once that is complete, this is what it'll look like with the seams all lined up. And we are going to find our hole that we left open in order to insert our elastic. And we don't want to go through the hoodie, we want to go right into that waistband right here. Take your elastic band now, make sure that safety pin is attached to it, and inserting safety pin in first, we are slowly going to maneuver the elastic through the hoodie waistband. This will be a slow process, but once it's through, we're going to line up and make sure the elastic is not twisted, and we're going to sew this at an overlapped amount of 3/8, and then just sew down the center. Once that's done, you can shuffle the elastic and the gathers around your elastic band just to make it all even and make sure it is not rolled. Once this is done, find that open piece once again, and then you can just go back to your machine and sew or serge shut. And that's what I'm gonna do now. Once your waistband is closed, what we're gonna do on either side of the side seams is sew down the elastic. This just prevents it from flipping as you wear it and wash it. So line up your needle with that side seam, and you're gonna insert it right into the middle and just sew down along that line up the waistband. We call this technique stitch in the ditch. Obviously, you'd like it to line up the same on the back, but if it doesn't, no worries, no one's seeing that part anyway. Repeat this step on both sides of the waistband to secure the elastic within, and you'll see it's completely invisible once you do it. After you've completed your waistband, we are going to move on to the hood. So take your hood piece and fold in half. Pay attention to the shape that it's in right now and make sure you're folding it the right way. Once that's folded in half, we're gonna once again fold it in another half to create that hood shape. Make sure it's oriented the same way as mine and then sew along this edge here. This is what it should look like. Once you've sewn that, what we're gonna do is grab the inside of the hood and flip it right side out. So now we have a perfect hood completely lined. We're now going to take the hood and the body of our sweater and we're going to have it flipped wrong side out this time. Once your hoodie is flipped on the neckline, you will locate the 2 notches on the front panel. This is where our hood is going to overlap. So take your hood and insert it with the top going toward the bottom of the hoodie. You can see this is the front. So I'm taking it with the top going right in there. And this is just a better angle. You'll see that I am going to find my 2 side seams here and then find my center back. With the center back, we are going to line up with the back seam of the hood. You can pin this into place if that makes things easier. And then with the front side of your hood, you're going to line up with the notches so that it will overlap. You can pin this into place. Once the hood is in place, we are going to sew it together all around the neckline and the hole at 3/8 or serge all the way around. Take your time making sure to line up those raw edges. Once complete, this is what it'll look like. Now that our hoodie is fully sewn together and assembled, we are going to attach our label and our content care tag. So take your label, I like to do it just between the 2 seams here, and we're going to sew down on the short sides of the label. For the content care tag, fold it in half and then along the serge seam or the sewn side seam, about 5 inches up from the hem, you'll just sew it down. And this is what it'll look like. Your Avery hoodie is now complete, tags and all. We hope you enjoyed sewing this, and we will see you next time on Sew with Ciro.